balls in my bag. I still have balls. I think I bought from a flea market. It was like just used balls. It was like 50 balls for like $10. And I lose balls.
I cringe when you say that.
At an incredible rate. So for me, it's a money saver. But now that I have gotten a little bit better, I now have, I have multiple brands, right? Like I don't just buy one specific brand. So that poses the question: then should I just consistently use one type of ball, or how do I identify without a ball fitting? Say, like, what may work best for me? Is there like a way for practice-wise where I can go out and be like, okay, hey, I am getting a higher shot with this type of ball versus this and other?
Yeah. So it goes back, if you can't get fit for a ball, it's trial and error. And you don't want to do it with drivers. We do fittings for balls on approach shots to green. So usually it's going to be your shorter irons and your wedges. And you want to get a ball that reacts the way that you're accustomed to for the ball to go on the green. Meaning, is the ball going to hit and stop because you're a higher spin player, or is it hit and release? And then you can adjust. If you need a ball that spins a little bit more because you're a low spin player, well then you'll figure that out. Or if your ball spins too much, then you want a ball that spins a little bit less. Those are some things to do. And I actually change balls at the time of the season. Usually in the beginning of the season for me, greens are a little bit softer, so I tend to have a lot of spin. So I'll go to an even lower spin ball. My normal ball is the Pro V1. That's the ball that I like. The feel and the flight is the best for me. But in the springtime, when the greens are really soft, I can actually spin them off the greens. So I actually go to the Titleist AVX ball, which is a little lower flying, lower spinning ball, and it helps me keep the ball on the green. But typically I'm using one ball. Now, so I'm always going to push my players towards the premium balls. They are more expensive, but they also perform a lot better. And yes, even if you're a new golfer, a premium ball is going to help you play better. Now, they are more expensive, so you can go down to the next level down, where they have good quality balls that, again, different spins and different launch conditions that you can play with. But I would say try to stay with one brand, just for the consistency of it. You can buy, like you said, you can buy the bulk of partially used balls, but try to get them all within the same brand if you can, or at least the same category of ball. Don't get a bag, and then you've got some balls that spin a little bit, and some balls that spin too much and not enough. Because it does make a difference. And really, the best way is go out to if you have a good practice facility, just if you have to, just buy one sleeve of each kind of ball, small investment, and then try them out. See how they react on the green. You'll have a preference on how the ball sounds coming off the face, how it feels coming off the face, and then also how it reacts on the green. And then again, if you can't tell the difference, then go with the cheapest Titleist ball that you can find.
I love that you cringed at my thought of my use of the flea market golf balls. I mean, look, your golf ball is an important piece of equipment. It can affect your game. And we're going to lose golf balls. Look, Titleist, I remember saying somewhere that, the average golfer loses like 6 balls in a round of golf. And being a Titleist brand ambassador, we need you to lose golf balls. We got to sell balls. But I get it. It can get expensive. So, buying some aftermarket balls or balls that are previously used, I get it. Because the game's expensive. I would much rather have you play golf and using a less expensive ball than not playing as much golf, or not playing golf at all because the game's too expensive. So if I was online and I was looking for golf balls, and I'm reading the descriptions on what they are, how do I know if what the expected reaction on that ball is going to be? How do I know if it's going to produce more spin or more flight or things in that nature?
All the manufacturers will have explanations of the different types of balls that they have, different models that they have, and what player they are for. One thing that they all, you can use your club speed for generality. Is if you know you swing your 7-iron at 75 miles an hour, you swing your driver at 90, you can go in there and you can plug in what your club speed is. And I think some of the manufacturers ask you your club speed, the kind of course conditions you play on, a couple different things, and then they kind of say, okay, we'll try. Here's 3 recommendations. This is this ball, the premium ball is this. This is the level below, and this is our least expensive ball. And you can kind of get it down to 3 different balls, and then maybe buy a sleeve of each, or borrow some from your friend. You kind of trade balls with your friends and try them out, or maybe you find a couple here and there. But you have to be careful with found golf balls, because golf balls do break. They're a chemical composition. They're not just plastic. There's different materials that go into the cover of a ball, and sunlight and climate, temperature, and water all affect the cover. You took a ball and submerged it in water for a few days and then brought it out, it might not do anything. But if it sat in that water for a long time, or it was hit a lot, or if the ball sat in the sunlight a lot, it can have an effect on the golf ball. Now, that being said, most of the people that are listening here aren't playing golf, or probably all of them aren't playing golf for a living. So the golf ball isn't, the golf isn't their means of making some money. So it's not as important. Your average golfer say, well, I play 20 rounds of golf. How really, is it really important for me to play with a new ball versus a used ball? And obviously, no, it's really not. But if you want to get the most, if you want to know you've got the best equipment that you can get, spend the extra $20 on a dozen. Instead of spending $30 on a dozen balls, spend $50. And play that way. If you know you're going to go to a course where you typically lose a few golf balls, then use some of the older balls. I had a question the other day: is how long does a golf ball last? How many rounds can I play it with? And like for me, I'll play 9 holes with a ball, at max, because I know it starts to get scuffed. I actually do see a little bit of a performance difference. For your average golfer, you can play 2 or 3 rounds with one golf ball if you don't lose it, as long as it doesn't get a lot of scuff marks on the cover. As soon as you start getting scuff marks on the cover, it changes the aerodynamic performances of the ball a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. These manufacturers, they spend millions of dollars on testing the aerodynamics of the balls. I mean, I know Titleist, it comes down to microns of paint in the dimples now. That's how they're changing the ball so much. So there is some performance difference there, but again, does it really matter to the average golfer? Probably not. But just know you may be playing with a slightly underperforming ball after a period of time.
You're always a little bit ahead of my next question, because I was going to ask, for me, I probably, right now, I shoot between 113 and 120, depending on how difficult the course is. So how much of a difference would finding the correct ball be for me? Like, would it save me strokes? Is there do we know of a perceived percentage improvement that the right ball type can make if you had the right equipment and all of those other things?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't have data on that. I do know if you're way off, if you're close within where you be, you probably won't notice the difference. But if your ball is spinning way too much or not spinning enough, then yes. Because if you think about it, your 113 score, how many times do you hit the ball within 10 feet to have a legitimate putt for birdie? Well, if you had a ball that spun a little bit more, or maybe you'd have a 10-footer instead of a 15 or a 20-footer. So you kind of think of it like that. So maybe, there's a chance that can happen, yeah. But, so yeah, the answer is yes. It probably would make a difference if you're way off, but if you're close, probably not.
All right, I will test this theory, and I will try to stick to one brand and see this season if it makes any impact on my game or not.
Good.
Approved.
There you go.